Hello, and welcome to our What Sold video for April 28th through May 4th. Welcome, Kevin.
Welcome, Wendy.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me this week.
Thank you also for joining me. Are you ready to talk about what sold in our
I
reselling
sure am.
business?
Let's get to it.
All right. But before we do that, please check out our disclosures on the screen. All right, and we're back. So the first thing that sold was a men's Harley-Davidson black silk blend embroidered Road to Paradise shirt. We got this at a church. It was classy. We got this at a church rummage sale for $3.25, and it sold for $29. Next up was a 1989 Alexander Scowby. I feel like that's how you should pronounce his name.
I would think Alexander Scowby.
Yeah, like super pompous and like really old.
Dramatic.
Old Hollywood sounding.
Yeah, it's dramatized New
Yeah,
Testament.
it was a dramatized New Testament.
Alexander Scowby. Not scurvy. Scowby. Yeah.
So that sold. That was the Bible, the dramatized Bible on cassette. We got that at the thrift store for 81 cents, and it sold for $27.99. Next up was a pair of men's pleated and cuffed dress pants by the brand Cevin. These we were gifted.
I just thought it was Savon. Is it Cevin?
I don't know.
Savony?
I really don't. I've actually never heard of that brand until we received them as a gift from a family member and we sold them.
I've seen them many times before, but I have no idea how to pronounce.
I don't shop in the men's section, so yeah. Anyway, those were free to us and they sold for $18 even. Next up was a lot of 4 high quality, large piece, so they had large pieces, and they were 300 to 500 piece jigsaw puzzles. These were puzzles that Kevin's mom completed. We had photos of
Puzzle
them
Factory.
in their complete form.
Completeness.
Yes, and these were also gifted to us. We had no cost. We received entertainment from those, and they sold for $22.48. She goes through more puzzles than any human I have ever known.
She does, and she complains about the puzzle the entire time she's doing it.
She does.
And then she'll finish it, and she's so happy. And you give her a new one, she's like, "This puzzle's the worst."
Yeah.
And then she'll do it,
and she's happy.
And repeat.
Yeah, it's like a cycle.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the puzzles are making her happy. But yeah, when you the first
happy
day of the puzzle is usually like a moment of grumbling. Okay, next up was a Kate Spade Dune Stripe Carly Grove Street handbag. We got this recently at a garage sale for $3.
Sold really fast.
It had some marks on it, which I attempted to remove, but there were still faintly there, so we did disclose that. We got this at a garage sale. We actually showed us picking this up at a garage sale on one of our recent videos. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I will link it in the description box below. We paid $3 for that, and it sold almost immediately for $59.99. Next up was a men's Sonoma goldenrod yellow short sleeve weekend polo. You can't wear that during the week. It's only for the weekend.
It's against the rules.
Yeah. This came from the Facebook Marketplace garbage bags of clothes. We paid 67 cents per item that came out of those bags, and it sold for a whopping $8.33.
We've had that. We got those bags like 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. We made hundreds on them.
I mean...
Yeah.
We made our money a long time ago. This is just straggler.
And here's another $1.20 to add to the money pile.
Yeah, there you go.
Next up was a Costumes USA Amscan molded plastic Hillary Clinton mask. It did have a little crack in the bottom of it.
The bottom was cracked.
We got this at an estate sale for $2. It sold for $11.98. Next up was a Vera Bradley Priscilla Pink Floral Water Resistant Shower Caddy. It was in excellent used condition. We found that at the thrift store for $3.24, and it sold for $20 even. Next up was a 5-foot by 3-foot Among Us Space Alien video game. Happy birthday photo backdrop banner. It was new in the package. This came out of a storage unit for $1.16. And y'all, this sold for $19.99.
I'm surprised.
If you can find items that are branded with Among Us, which is not a game I'm familiar with, and it seemed like stuff that had this look or branding to it was very difficult to find. And so if you were looking for it, you'd be willing to pay up. Because $19.99 is a lot for a photo backdrop because it was like vinyl.
It's just a...
Yeah, it was like a piece of
Just a
plastic.
banner.
It was like a super big plastic tablecloth that you would hang up. Yeah. Okay, next up was an antique Three Kings Wise Men Blessings wood and brass print plate. We found this at an antique store for just $1 when we were on our way down for vacation, and we met up with Cha-Ching King. If you want to check out that video, it'll be in the description box below. And this sold for $89.99 on Etsy.
Which we never sell things on Etsy. That's very rare.
Very rare to sell things on Etsy, but we sold it on Etsy thanks to List Perfectly.
Link down below.
30% off your first month. All right, next up was a pair of Crocs that were branded with Hello Kitty, and they had the gibbets charms all over them. They were in really good condition.
Almost new.
Yes. We found these at the same garage sale where we got the Kate Spade purse, and I picked them up. The lady was like, oh no, those are already sold. And I was like, dang it.
I know. As soon as I walked up, I was like, those are Hello Kitty Crocs. And then she just took them back.
Yeah, she took them
we already
back.
sold them.
And I was like, man. And then a few minutes later, she came over and she was like, actually, she doesn't want them. Would you like them? And I was trying to play it cool.
Nonchalant, like,
yeah, I was like, yeah, sure,
I'll take 'em.
If y'all don't want them, I'll take them. So we ended up getting those for just $5. They sold immediately for $75. Next up was a 1994 Pinnacle New Generation complete set of 25 factory sealed baseball cards. These were Kevin's, and these sold for $12.75. Next up was a Tommy Jeans Juniors women's size 11 navy pinstripe straight mini skirt. This came out of the Facebook Marketplace garbage bags of clothes.
Another one? Wow.
I know, yeah.
These little stragglers here and there, another couple bucks.
I know. It sold for $8.34, but another $2.33 to put in the hundreds that we've gotten from that purchase. Next up was a good sale. This was a Mattel Disney Pixar Cars black and red Mack transporter hauler big rig truck. This is a hard to find toy, and they sell for a lot. We got this at a garage sale for just 25 cents, and it sold for $54.
That's good. Return on investment.
Yeah, that's a good one. Next up was a huge 175 piece. It was 8 pounds of Lego Duplo and Mega Blocks, and it had some Thomas and Friends pieces, train tracks, different animals, and cars in it. Like Disney cars, I think. We got this at a garage sale for $5, and it sold for $70 even.
I think that was the one where we had $20 shipping on it, and we ended up paying like $23 or $24 in shipping. I mean, in case you're wondering why it says $70 and then only $28 in profit, it's because that one costs quite a bit to ship.
Yeah.
I'm just letting them know. If they see the number and they're like, what?
Yeah. Well, shipping was a lot. Yeah, I think we sold it for $50 plus $20 shipping.
It was.
Next up was a 2-pack. The brand was called Warps Coverall. These were jumbo banana storage bags. They were called banana storage bags because they were the color of a
bananas.
Banana. Yeah, not actually for storing bananas. Oh. They were actually like furniture or mattress bags, and they were new in the package. These were gifted to us to sell by family. We had no cost, and they sold for $30 even.
Nice. Next
up was an iris daffodil. I couldn't tell if it was an iris or a daffodil, or maybe it had both. I actually can't remember. But it was a porcelain wall hook for like keys or something like that. And it had about 4 or 5 hooks on it. It was in excellent used condition. This was also gifted to us to sell. We had no cost, and it sold for $32.99. Next up was a replacement 67 XL color print inkjet cartridge for an HP DeskJet. And I think this was an off-brand. I do not think this was an original HP because I would have put OEM in the title if it was. Oh. This was new in the box, though. It was gifted to us to sell. We had no cost, and it sold for $10.48. Next up was one of Kevin's baseball cards. This was a 1996 Pinnacle Aficionado baseball. error card. It was of the player Dennis Martinez, and it had like a profile picture on there.
Normally you'll see in the picture. Normally there's there's a face where that silver is, like black little those little things you used to draw with the magnet pen. little kind of charcoal drawing looking face on the silver, but this one just didn't have any of the black on it. It was just silver.
It wasn't like I think we probably had the only card that was like that, or one of the only few cards that was like that. So we had this listed for like, I don't know, $19.99 or something. Literally nobody, we've had it listed for
a few years.
4 years or something. Nobody's ever been interested in it. Somebody came along and offered us $7.77. This was coming right off of last week when we had such a bad week. And I was like, you know what? Nobody's ever going to be interested in this card again. 777 sounds like some good luck we need coming our way. And I feel like we need to accept some low offers to get our store moving. So I hit accept pretty fast on that offer and was happy with it. Next up was a sale of an item that we got from the Goodwill bins. This was a PBC International 11-inch stuffed brown fuzzy jointed teddy bear. It was a vintage item. We paid 61 cents for it, and it sold for $15.98. Next up was another bins item. This was a Wilson Pink A300 Youth T-ball glove, and we paid 61 cents for that. It sold for $10.89. Next up was another Goodwill bins item. This was a really cool looking handmade rustic African. It was actually made in Africa. 20-page 4x6 photo album. And we had paid 92 cents for that. It sold for $29.58.
We finally sold it and we made good money on it. It took so long to sell. I picked that thing up on one of our very first bins trips. Oh, this is cool. Really?
It was one of our first ones?
One of the first couple. It was a long time ago. I'm talking 2 or 3 years ago. Huh. And I would have sworn that somebody would have bought that thing.
Yeah.
No.
Next up was 2 vintage art and leather kits. One was a pouch and one was called a Thunderbird medallion. And we found these in the bins. They were new in the package. We paid $2.01 for both of those. They sold for $13.33. Next up was a Crayola Disney Pixar Model Magic from Incredibles 2. And we had gotten this a long time ago when we were doing retail arbitrage. So long ago, in fact, that I did not have written down how much we paid for it, so I don't remember. So we just said 0 on the spreadsheet because we had no memory. And it only sold for $11.74. So
we
not
probably
a good
paid about $3.50 for it, I think. So I think this was just a break even, get rid of it.
Yeah, but definitely.
That was a lesson learned one from long ago.
For sure. Next up was a lot of 2 8-packs of drawing board brunch invitations. They were vintage. We got these at an estate sale for 26 cents. It was an estate sale where everything was 75% off, and they sold for $12.99. Next up was a Time and True women's extra large black strappy front bikini top. This came out of a storage unit for 28 cents, and it appeared to be in good condition. We sold it for $14.39. The buyer contacted me later on and after they got it and said that one of the adjustment pieces on one of the straps was broken and it wasn't possible anymore to adjust the strap from, short to long. So I actually at first just automatically replied back with, please open a return, no problem, we'll accept it back. And then I went in a little bit later on and looked at the pictures real close up, and I could see that that was some damage that we had missed. And so I ended up responding back to her before she opened the return and just said, you know what, I can see that the damage is on there. We just missed it, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you a refund. And so this is a very rare instance of when I offered a full refund to somebody without making them send the item back. And that's because I was able to verify with 100% certainty that the mistake was on my part. Yeah. And I did not want to pay for them to have to send the item back when I knew that the error was on my part. So she was very happy. She was very nice about it. And obviously, we're not perfect. So
we lost the $4 shipping it to them, but better than losing another $4 having it shipped back to us.
Exactly. But most of the time I would have somebody send the item back, but in this case I was just able
and normally
to verify it.
We're pretty thorough. We would normally catch something like that. That's rare that something like that goes out.
Yeah, it's just normally we don't really adjust the straps.
That's the thing we didn't check this time. But we'll check on the future ones for sure.
We will. Yeah, we will. Lesson learned. Okay, next up was a PC game of the Veggie Tales Mystery of Veggie Island. We got this at a rummage sale for 50 cents and it sold for $13.99. Next up was a 2021 Loot Gaming Bungie Destiny Stasis Subclass coaster set. And it was a 3-pack new in package. I have no idea what any of that means, but we only paid $2 and it sold for $23.
Well, Destiny is a game, and Loot Gaming's like I think it's like one of those loot crate kind of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a Destiny branded.
But what's Stasis
coasters.
Subclass?
I think that's just what the icon, what the image on there was the Stasis sub. I've never played Destiny, so I don't know, but I believe that was just a subclass from the game Destiny.
Oh, you're a nerd. Okay, next up was a Puppet Company 14-inch rainbow knit plush monster hand puppet. We got this at a recent garage sale, the one where we got the Saved by the Bell game. Yeah, and there were a bunch of puppets at this sale. This is the first one to sell. We paid 50 cents for it, and it sold for $19.99.
We got a whole bin of puppets for $5.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
So that already doubled what we paid for the whole bin.
Exactly. Next up was a pair of women's black Mary Jane Crocs. We got these at a garage sale for $2 and they sold for $23. Next up was a lot of 5 cassette college audiobooks on the topics of self-improvement, finances, computers, and anxiety. So somebody was really trying to improve themselves.
They were really cool and retro looking, which is why I grabbed them to begin with. Just they looked cool.
Yeah.
Learn computers. It was really neat.
Yeah. These we paid $2.31 in total for. They sold for $20 even. Next up, we've got something sweet to share with you, but before we move on, I would like to first invite you to subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed. Please go down and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button right next to it, and maybe hit that share button next to that and share this with somebody who might be interested in our content. All right, well, let's move on to our sweet sale of the week, and that was a Candies Women's Large Coral.
Get it? Because it was Candies.
Lace back, roll tab, sleeve, button up, tie front blouse. I mean, I think I nailed it with the keywords on that.
You used every letter in the title.
I did. I got it. This came out of the Facebook Marketplace garbage bag of clothes. Man.
There's another couple bucks.
That was a solid winner this week. That sold for $9.13. Next up was a damn good sale, wouldn't you say?
I would, yes.
This was a 2005 Damn Jacks, the original Good Luck troll doll. It was new in the package. We got this at a garage sale for $5, and actually we really got this because I made a Facebook Marketplace deal with a lady to go buy some vintage toys, and this was one of the vintage toys I was buying from her. And then when we got there, we discovered that she was also having a garage sale, so that's why it says garage sale. I probably should actually put Facebook Marketplace. But anyway, we paid $5 for it and it sold for $20. We got a lot of good stuff at that.
We did.
That location. Okay, next up was a 720p HD 2.8 millimeter lens Pawn black bullet surveillance camera. It was new open box. I don't really know what any of that means. Do you?
It was a camera.
A surveillance camera? Was it for your car?
Yeah, it was a car.
Oh, those were the ones that just said car camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those actually weren't car cameras.
Oh.
They just said that on the box.
They went to,
it was like a home surveillance.
It sold to like a car dealer, not a car dealer, a car audio installer place based on the name.
Maybe it was for a car.
So that's what made me think it was for a car, but it could have just been for their their place.
Huh.
But yeah, it was like something customs or something.
I just put everything that was on the box. And somebody
we have like 3 or 4 other ones. It's just not that exact same model.
Right.
That we got at the same sale.
We got this for $8 and it sold for $47.99.
That's good.
So yeah, it worked out. Next up was a lot of 3 Ron Aqua Big Blue 5-micron pleated sediment water filters. They were new in the package. We got these at the thrift store for $4.86. They sold for $29.99. Next up was a Mercari sale. This was a lot of 3 women's small Southern style t-shirts. These were actually Nina's, so we had no cost, and they sold for $17 on Mercari. Next up was one of Kevin's cards. This was a Magic the Gathering Unlimited Demonic Tutor card. So this one sold on auction for $80.71.
And the Demonic Tutor's profit was 666. 6. So it's okay. We had the extra 6. It keeps it safe.
That was a close one.
Keeps it safe. It was that 8-ball. It's us messing with that 8-ball. They warned us.
Whew. All right, next up was a Poshmark sale. And this was a pet shop 25 to 35 pound mermaid costume for a dog. It was new in the package. I got this on clearance at Walgreens for $3.50, and I was so sure that this was gonna sell.
That thing has been sitting here for like 3 Halloweens.
I know.
And it almost sold like 3 different times.
I know. I don't know why. I feel like it was like cursed or something. So finally, when we got an offer for it for $11 on Poshmark, I was like, I'm just gonna take this. Yeah, so I took an offer for $11 on Poshmark. We still made, plenty of profit on that. But I don't know why it took so long to sell. It was the cutest little costume I'd ever seen. Okay, next up was some remnant fabric from Joann. It was actually branded with the Joann name. This was 2-way stretch knit pastel pink nursery fabric. And it sold, it was my fabric, so I had no cost. I mean, I did it one time, but not on the spreadsheet. And it sold for $14.98. Next up was a monogrammed wine bottle stopper with the letter W, and it was by Wild Eye Designs. This was not ours, actually. We got this at the thrift store for $1.08, and it sold for $13 on Poshmark.
I picked it up actually at the thrift store. I'm like, oh, maybe we can sell it. I'll get it for Wendy, and if she wants it, she can have it, and if not, we'll just sell it.
Yeah.
Because it had a W, so.
Yeah.
But no, she didn't want it.
Yeah.
She doesn't really drink wine.
We don't really drink a lot of wine.
I didn't think about that when I picked it up. She doesn't even drink wine.
Yeah.
It could have been for your root beer.
Yeah, I could have.
She does drink a lot
I could have
of root
put
beer.
it in my root beer bottle. That would have been a great idea. Yeah, have a sip now.
It's too late now. Somebody on Poshmark bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right, next up was a Western Horseman Legends Volume 3 quarter horses. We got this at an estate sale. I don't even remember what estate sale this was, but
That was a long time ago.
we only paid $1 for it. It sold for $9.99.
Didn't make much on that one, but we got rid of a bulky book.
Yeah. Next up was a viewer sale. This was to Richard. Thank you so much for your purchase.
Oh, yeah.
This was a lot of 7 packages of Dayspring acid-free Christmas and religious stickers. It was 28 sheets. They were all new in package. We found these at the bins for $1.03, and they sold for $16.99. We appreciate your purchase. Thank you. Next up was a lot of 3 H&M Basics men's large full zip long sleeve hoodies. We were gifted these to sell by family. We had no cost, and they sold for $45 even.
Nice.
Next up was a vintage Kirby D80 rug renovator miracle head vacuum cleaner brush attachment. We found this in the bins for 82 cents, and it sold for $32.99. Next up was a lot of 13 Pokemon miniature 1-inch minifigs. We found these in a thrift store toy bag. We only paid 26 cents for them, and they sold for $12.50. Next up was a 2012 Hallmark keepsake Christmas ornament. It said on there, "A child is born," and it said Isaiah 9:6. We got this at a fill-a-bag garage sale. We only paid 33 cents for this, and it sold for $7.98. Next up was a lot of 2 Hallmark 6-packs, so there were 12 total, and they were graduation gift card money holders, new in the package. Perfect timing for those.
Yeah.
Guess they needed them. We got these at a garage sale. We had no cost on these. It was a garage sale where they were giving everything away for free. And these sold for $13 even.
I guess that would just be a garage give.
Yeah.
Not a garage sale.
Yeah, we don't have that category.
Garage require.
Next up was a great neck stainless steel multi-tool pocket knife with case. And it did have some rusting on it, which we disclosed right in the title. This was acquired from a storage auction for $1.16, and it sold for $12.99. Next up was one of my items that I purchased and then just decided it wasn't the right item for me. They just weren't going to work. So these were a 4-count of Goody bobby pins, and they were new in the package. I never used them. I don't remember what I paid for them. I had had them for a long time, and then I just never found myself using them. I sold them for $11. Recently, I had a viewer ask me about selling Goody items because I had passed an item up at an estate sale that was branded Goody. And from what I understand and from what my research shows, modern Goody items don't sell for a lot. It's the vintage Goody items that you want to look for. So definitely be on the lookout for vintage Goody hair items.
Something like this is like just a good tip for anyone. If you have something that's been sitting around your house for 3 or 4 years and you just aren't using it and you're never going to use it, if you haven't used it by that long, just sell it. Just put it online and sell it.
Absolutely.
You don't need it. You'll get a few of the dollars back or more of the dollars back and go about your day.
Also, that's the easiest, least path of resistance sourcing location that you have.
You don't have to go anywhere. It's right there.
Exactly. So that's the best place to start.
Can we sell it?
If you are new to reselling, the absolute #1 place to start sourcing for reselling is in your own home.
Yeah, it's good practice.
Yeah.
You're clearing out your own clutter. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere and figure that out yet. You can get
You're not risking any money.
You can dip your toes in the water on reselling, and then you can build up to going out and buying things.
Exactly. Yeah, we still get a lot of our merchandise just from stuff laying around our house. I'm constantly cleaning out closets and cleaning out sections.
And whenever Nina outgrows clothes or whenever she decides to change her wardrobe or just put it on eBay.
Exactly. All right, well, last up was an item that was gifted to us by a family member. This was a pair of Coldwater Creek women's plus size medium brown travel slinky pants. So these were in the style of Chico's Travelers. So that's why I described them as travel pants.
Those really heavy slinky pants.
Yeah.
Like they're heavy.
Yeah, they are. We had no cost and they sold for $23.98. So that wraps up all of our sales for this particular week. And let's go over the totals.
Mm-hmm.
Our total number of sales was 51.
That's pretty good.
Our average sale price was $24.77.
Much better than last week.
Very, very, very much better.
Much more better.
Our sales totaled $1,263.15. And that made for a net profit of $708.43.
No, that's good. I would take $700 every week.
Yeah, me too.
And that's like double what we made last week.
I know.
So I will definitely take it.
Yeah.
Nice. This was a decent week.
This was a decent week. Much happier with
Back on the upslide.
We're on the right path.
Upside? I don't know if you can slide upwards. The upstroke?
The upswing.
The upswing.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Mixing my metaphors.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining. Again, if you're not subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Y'all, 95% of people who view our channel are not subscribed, so we would really appreciate it if you would take just 30 seconds, head on down and hit that subscribe button. That would mean so much to us. If you've made it this far in the video, it's only going to take a little bit of extra time.
And we'll be your best friends forever.
Yeah, we will. All right, well, thanks again for joining, and we will catch you
on the flip side.
Bye.